CRC planners, there is a book that I have just been so excited to tell you about over the last few days. It is called The Lines We Cross by Randa Abdul Fattah, and this is an advanced reader's copy. I was sent it by Scholastic. Thank you, Scholastic, because I had heard about the book and was so excited to read it, and they were kind enough to send me a copy, and I'm super excited. I got this book this weekend is when it arrived, and then I just spent every spare moment over the past couple of days just devouring this, and it is such a good book, and I enjoyed it in a way that surprised me, and I benefited from it in ways that surprised me, and I've just been so excited to share this book. So this book actually came out yesterday, May 9th, and it's the story of two characters, Michael and Mina. It's set in Australia. Michael is who the book opens with. He is a 16-year-old teenager in 11th grade in Australia, and his parents run an organization called Aussie Values, and so they're at a protest is where the book opens, protesting illegal immigration, so-called illegal immigration. And he sees this girl on the opposite side of the protest, Mina, who catches his eye and he can't forget about her. And then the chapters alternate between him and Mina's perspective. Mina, on the other hand, is 16 years old. She's just moved to Sydney from Auburn, which is in Western Sydney, and the reputation of Auburn is one of being like a ghetto or a gangland, is how it's referred to in the book, but basically like a multicultural part of Sydney. And she's moved out of Auburn to attend Victoria College, which is a fancy school in which she's gotten a scholarship for grade 11 and hopefully grade 12. Her mother and her stepfather are super excited, and they're closing their restaurant to open a new Afghani restaurant in Sydney and take over a closing fish and chip shop. And Mina's overall story, she's from Afghanistan. She'd arrived in Sydney 10 years previous on a boat, got locked in detention, built a life with her mother, and in that journey from Afghanistan to Australia went through a lot. And she starts the school, she sees Michael, and they clash on lots of different things, and they learn from each other. They find lots of similarities and just these huge differences between them. This book is a YA novel, and it's something I haven't read a lot of YA for a while, but YA is really impressing me lately. I read The Sun Is Also a Star, and I did a video about it, and I'll link that below. And The Sun Is Also a Star was just an incredible read. I'm also reading The Hate You Give Me by Angie Thomas, which is really good. And then this book, I actually put that book down to read this, and this book was just spot on. What I loved about this book is the two different perspectives. So you have Michael, who is hearing all these arguments about immigration and about people who need to assimilate, and sorting through that or not sorting through that. And then you have Mina, who has a very different perspective. And as a reader, you get both perspectives. You get just incredible discussion. And I was reading it and I was thinking, it must have been really hard as a writer to write down class conversations where people are saying, yeah, but Islam is barbaric. Yeah, but those illegal immigrants should just follow the queue like everyone else. Oh, those immigrants are just taking jobs. Oh, those et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Those are arguments. I think she tells these in very sensitive ways, and she conveys discussions in ways that I think are quite accurate. I've certainly been in discussions that are very similar to ones that are in this book. And I think as a writer, that can be very hard to do when you are coming from, the author is Muslim. It's hard to write Islamophobic conversations and to write about, yeah, but those, some cultures are just barbaric, some cultures treat women as second-class citizens, etc., etc. And she manages to do that. And in a very sensitive way, she also challenges a lot of dominant ideas. So you have Mina challenging Michael on his discomfort with her interrogating his ideas. There are discussions in here about one set of characters saying immigrants need to assimilate, another set of characters saying we're in this country, we're contributing, I don't know what people who are asking us to assimilate really want from us. And they're not talking to each other when these conversations are happening, but characters are having these conversations independent of each other. And as a reader, you just get these two perspectives. And in an age where we really don't talk to people or understand what people from different perspectives think about, this book is helpful. I know for myself, I get really angry about a lot of issues, and this book gave me access to characters that I'm really not interested in engaging with on an everyday basis, but perhaps should. And this book gave me an entry point to think about engaging with people who believe very different things from me, with a bit more patience and resilience. What I really was not compelled by was the love story and the teenage romance between these two characters. I didn't really see it. It didn't really warm my heart in the way other teenage romance, like The Sun Is Also a Star or The Fault in Our Stars, or other teenage romances can be quite cute. This book, I thought Michael was nice, but I didn't think he was nice enough for Mina. But oh, this book is so good. I just sat and I've got, you can see there's all these dog-eared pages of just bits where I was like, yeah, go tell him, or that is exactly how I feel about that particular issue, or that is something that I struggle with, or that is something that I wish people understood more. It's not a preachy book, it's a very well done. You don't feel like the author is beating you over the head with particular points. It's really well done. I love this. I want this to be seen in classrooms. If I knew teenage girls, I would give them this book. If I knew teenage boys, I would give them this book. I want this to be used in many different educational settings as possible. I want it to be discussed in families. I think this book is just so rich and so apt for the time that we're in, because you have characters that are not monsters, but just have these ideas that I still feel are very difficult to understand, but their humanity allows you to engage with the ideas a bit more and see that perhaps they're bridges for people with different points of view to talk to one another in meaningful ways. And yet it's not a like, let's all hold hands and sing Kumbaya kind of book. It is saying that there actually are points of view and positions that hold more truth than others. And I thought that was very important to hear as well. So if you're wanting a really great book, this is hot off the presses. May 9th is when this book came out in Canada. I highly, highly, highly recommend this book. It's very rare for me to read a book of Muslim characters and feel just really compelled by it, because a lot of times it's a lot of explaining. What I love about this book is there isn't explaining. They're just wearing hijab. They're talking about halal food, and there's no glossary. There's nothing. This book, and I really like that. So, well done. And kudos to Scholastic for publishing it. Though I have an advanced copy and I have this book, I feel like I'm just going to buy lots of copies and give it to everyone as Eid presents. Okay, that's all for now. Till next time. Toodles!